So I play a lot of different VR games, and there are some games that are just so good but don't get enough visibility. So I want to see how many of these games you recognize, and if you have not played any of these, you definitely should. Number one is Cosmos 2000. This is for all those spaceflight nerds. It has incredibly realistic spaceflight like controls and mechanics, and basically the premise of the game is there's like you're flying your spacecraft in low Earth orbit, so around Earth, and you have to do all these different missions. For example, one of the missions was I had to dock my spacecraft to the ISS, except like you're really sitting in a very realistic looking spacecraft and you're having to control the yaw, pitch, and roll of the spacecraft. And while I'm trying to dock onto this ISS, literally think Interstellar. In Interstellar, when Matthew McConaughey's character was trying to like dock, that's what's happening, right? So in this game, you're going around Earth's orbit over and over, and while also maneuver your spacecraft in zero gravity. And then if you unable to dock like properly, then you're gonna have to wait until you go another lap around Earth's orbit before you can try again. It's so good and realistic. I've always wanted to fly a spacecraft, and this is super realistic. And on top of that, you have to also maintain your spacecraft, like the electricity of it, and also like the gas levels. So I would have to monitor and see if my CO2 levels was too high, and then I'd have to like open up the oxygen tank while I'm trying to do my space mission. It's so good. I will say though that the storyline itself, conversations that the characters are having, I don't really care for. I think it could have been a little bit better, but the realism of flying spacecraft, so good. Number two is Gesture VR. I think this is, of all my VR friends that I've mentioned my list to, this is the one that no one's really ever heard of. And you know what? I had to dig hard to find this one. It's an app where you can just draw. I know that sounds so basic, but it's like a sketching, drawing app. And then there's all these different models that you can pick from in the app of real life models, I guess. And you can just draw them in this like studio, and it has all the different like pencil types. And I don't know, I grew up drawing, so to me this was really just so nice. And you can actually also play this in mixed reality. It felt like sketching something in your real world. You can have the sketchbook with all these different tools, and you can just start sketching your house. I think it's a really nice app, and sometimes it's fun to draw. Next is Little Planet. Around in the 2000s, during the Animal Crossing hype of the world, this is Animal Crossing in VR. It's so cute. Basically, you just do different things on your planet to be able to keep expanding it and then open up more shops, like the different shops that you can have. You can have like a plant shop. You can have like the clothing store shop where it changes different clothes that you can buy. And then you just go and you plant different plants, you harvest fruits and vegetables, you interact with the characters, and you kind of like, and you do whatever mission they have for you. And you just live on your little cute planet with your little cute friends, animal friends, and just do tasks. Like literally, this is Animal Crossing in VR. So cute. And I'm surprised that it's not more popular. Next is Skyrunner. This is a little bit of a cheating one because Skyrunner was actually used to be Bomber Drone. And so the name Bomber Drone, that game, has gotten quite a bit of popularity. So you've probably heard of Bomber Drone, but it has been since rebranded to Skyrunner because Bomber Drone was this like drone simulator, very simple tech demo type of game. But now it is getting revamped with a full campaign and a ton of other features. And currently there is a Christmas update for it where you use your drones to like, where there's like presents falling from your ceiling, because this is in mixed reality, and you have to catch the presents with your drone and then drop the presents off to like the little chimneys around your house. It's just a really cool way to be able to learn how to control drones, because the controls on this is very realistic to controlling a real drone, but also being able to play like fun little mini games. It's so cute to see how like drones and the different like games interact with your environment. Last but certainly not least is Dyschronia. This is for any of like my anime fans like me. Dyschronia, so good, so incredibly underrated. You're basically like in an anime, honestly. You're like in this anime, it's a murder mystery where you're trying to figure out what happened, and graphics are beautiful, storyline is really good, gameplay is amazing. Like seriously, I cannot believe that this game did not get more popularity. It's so good. And especially if you're an anime fan, like highly recommend. If you're a murder mystery fan, highly recommend. Anyway, just go play it, like seriously. So anyway, those are the 5 games games that I personally love that I don't think anyone's really heard of. Okay, fine. I'm gonna give you one more bonus one. This one, I think people do know about it a little bit, but I don't think enough people know about it. So I'm gonna tell you, I love The Last Clockwinder. Oh my gosh, The Last Clockwinder is so good. You basically like clone yourself because you're taking care of this like ancient clock tower, and you have to clone yourself because you're by yourself taking care of this clock tower, and it needs a lot of things, and that's how you do all the different tasks to take care of it. But the storyline is so touching. Graphics are beautiful. Like, you're in this tree house. It's just so cute. Like, honestly, if I could live inside a VR game, like, I would want to live inside The Last Clockwinder just because it's so touching, and like the mechanics are cool. It's very different from any of the other games out there, really. And yeah, okay, those are my games. What games are severely underrated and that you think need more recognition in the VR space? Like, put them down below so I can go play some games that nobody else knows about. Okay, I will see you next time. Goodbye.